If you haven't already downloaded this free ebook, I'll put a link in the description box right below. You can get a copy of my Technical Analysis Basics ebook. If you're new to technical analysis, it's got some real basic stuff here, just introductory stuff, and slightly beyond as well. Channels, gaps, volume, stuff like that. Really handy, totally free. So click on to the link and go and get your copy. I am going to analyse Litecoin with you today. I have a queue jumper, a member who's a paying member on my website is holding some Litecoin, and I'm also holding some, and he wants me to update the analysis, so that's what I'm going to do for him, for me, and for you. I'm using crypto compare data now, and I've noticed this really weird spike, which I shouldn't ignore. It would make a difference to the analysis, but I think I want to do a little bit more research on this to see. This just looks super buggy. This doesn't look right, and Yahoo Finance data is different, which I've been using up to date. So for today, I'm not going to take that into account. I'm going to go with what was my old wave count. I brought it over from my previous workspace where I had Yahoo Finance data for Litecoin. So I had a cycle degree first wave over here, cycle degree second wave. I'm going to look through monthly, weekly charts with you, and then I'm going to update my analysis on my daily chart with you. I've already fixed up my monthly and weekly charts. I have a cycle degree first wave and second wave over, and then to start off cycle 3, primary 1, primary 2, within primary 3, intermediate 1, intermediate 2, and it looks like there's a strong bullish candlestick developing. And so this wave count for Litecoin is really bullish. It sees a third wave at 3 very large degrees, intermediate and primary and cycle. My targets are highly provisional for all of my cryptocurrency analysis. Within cycle wave 1, primary wave 3 was 71.374 the length of primary wave 1. If we see that same relationship between primary 3 and primary 1 within cycle 3, then a reasonable target would be 8,943. Maybe think of my targets for my cryptocurrencies more like this. They're not targets of where I actually expect price to end up. They're an illustration of where it could go. So get an idea of, considering the insane volatility of these markets, how long these third waves could possibly be based on past analysis of past data. So that's my monthly chart, very, very bullish. Weekly chart, also very bullish. Here's the end of intermediate 2, subdivides okay as a double zigzag. And so within the new upward trend, I think we might have had minor 1 and minor 2. Now I have this at minute degree at the daily chart. I'm going to move that up. So let's go over to the daily chart. We're going to look from this low here, the end of intermediate 2, which is this low down here. If you use motive wave, I'm going to show you one of the cool features of it. It's really easy to change the degree of labeling of whatever you're working with. So I want to label this at minor degree. So I've already got all my subdivisions labeled here. I don't want to get rid of all that work. So what I'm going to do is delete this and keep the subwaves, and then click on this slot and increase degree, and it moves everything up 1 degree for me. So now I've got minor wave 1 there. Now my previous analysis expected a pullback for minor 2 to end somewhere between 45.67 to 43.18. It's fallen a little bit short of that. It only reached down to 47.57. It had the spike up first. I think this looks like a fairly good looking expanded flat. I thought originally it was going to be a zigzag. Oh, what does A look like? That looks like a double zigzag. Motive wave won't let me do that. So let's put some labels in here for minor wave 2. Actually, I think I want to have A over here as a flat correction. An expanded flat. That looks okay. And then B over here is an expanded flat. I'll put that there. And then C, a sharp impulse. So minor 2 fell short of my target zone. I'm going to grab my calculator and just calculate how deep is minor 2 in relation to 1. 72%. So still really deep, and that's normal for a second wave correction following a first wave leading diagonal to be deep. And we had previous resistance in this area that's been broken through on a closing basis, back test of support, moving up and away. Looks like a third wave could very well be in its early stages. I can see an impulse developing here, so I'll get some labels on for that. Nope, I think this is incomplete. Okay, so I can see within this new upward movement, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, we need 3, 4, 5. That'll complete minute wave 1, and then minute wave 2 will be a pullback. So the invalidation point needs to be moved to here on the daily chart level. So this is a short-term invalidation point, 47.57. Because within minor wave 3, when minute wave 2 arrives, it may not move beyond the start of minute wave 1. So I'm using Elliott wave rules to identify at which price point my Elliott wave count would be wrong, because it would be, the price point would be breached. So that's my conclusion for Litecoin from an Elliott wave perspective. Let's have a look at classic technical analysis, weekly chart first, and let's look at this last low. So here is the last low, week beginning 12th of June. This candlestick is a hammer candlestick. I just calculated the length of the lower wick in relation to the real body, and it is more than twice the length of the real body. That's followed by a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. So there's two bullish reversal patterns at the low. There's another bullish candlestick pattern here with a long lower wick, and another one here. So the candlestick patterns so far look quite bullish at the weekly chart level. The bullish engulfing candlestick pattern did not have support from volume. For cryptocurrencies, that's really nice to see, but not a complete deal breaker when it doesn't happen. Sometimes they do start off their lows with a bit of weakness. At the low here, it looks like there was no bullish divergence between price and on-balance volume. On-balance volume would have broken above resistance, which we could draw across over here. And another breakout now. Let's bring a line in. So if we draw a nearly horizontal resistance line on balance volume, this line here, it's been broken above for on balance volume. So that's a bullish signal from on balance volume, which supports a bullish Elliott wave count, at least for the short term. ADX is increasing. It is above 15. The positive DX line is above the negative. There is an upward trend. RSI is in neutral territory. It reached oversold at the weekly chart level at the last low. Has it done that before? No, it hasn't. That's the first time it's done that in Litecoin's price history. So that's very bullish. This downward trend at its low was the most extreme this market has been for a bear market. Money flow index indicated no bullish divergence at the low. It did just reach oversold after the low. It's currently in neutral territory, so there's plenty of room to go before money flow and RSI reach extreme, and a long, long way to go before ADX reaches extreme. Stochastics in neutral territory, and ATR starting to show a little bit of an increase as price moves higher. That's very good to see. Overall, on balance, I think this one is pretty bullish. I think we probably have for the short term more upward movement to end minuet 3, a consolidation or pullback for a little fourth wave, and then another final fifth wave up to another high, and that'll complete minute wave 1. And then when that's over, I will expect a deep, time-consuming minute wave 2 pullback, possibly to end somewhere around the level of the end of the second wave, 1 lesser degree. So possibly to get as low as 53 or so, maybe. If not there, then maybe about 59, maybe in this zone around here. But when minute wave 1 is complete, then I draw a Fibonacci retracement along its length and look for at least the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio for minute wave 2, if not 80 to 90% of minute wave 1. That's not Fibonacci, that's just a common depth for second waves for cryptocurrencies. So that's my updated analysis for Litecoin for you. I hope this isn't just helping me and my member out. I hope this is helping some others of you out there if you are holding Litecoin and want to have some idea of what my judgment and my analysis thinks it might most likely do next. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching as always. Thank you for your support.